welcome to another episode of Asana Hack. I thought today we'd do Astavakrasana, or eight angle.
Eight angle pose. Some poses you just remember by the Sanskrit name, and other poses you only remember with the English name. At least that's me.
I don't know. Astavakrasana, I always just call it Astavakrasana. So, anywho, this is like a neat little arm balance. I love it because I feel it's really, it's a lot easier to get into than it looks. It looks super intimidating, and then it's actually very approachable, I feel, once you kind of break it down. And it's a lot of fun. It was one of the first arm balances I learned, and I loved it. I felt so powerful in it, and it looked so cool. It's a great party trick. And once you got it, you can totally do it after a few glasses of wine, and you'll be super impressive. Not that I'm encouraging that as a yoga teacher. Yes, I am. Anyway, Astavakrasana pose, it's important that you open up your hips. So warm up with some lizard, maybe some pigeon, that kind of thing. So I'm going to presume that you have warmed up your hips. And I like to start, when I teach this in workshop, I always start out with doing elephant pose, because I think, number one, you can take it into a flow from elephant to Astavakrasana. I'm going to show you that later. But it's also it has a lot of the same engagement. So I think it's just a great intro to this arm balance. So, elephant pose. Before I break it down, this is elephant pose. Boo! What needs to happen is there's a lift in the core. So, in the core, imagine you're creating a little bowl in your lower core. So you're all the way down in the pelvis. So you're kind of pulling the muscles in between your sit bones towards each other. And then you're pulling your muscles the other way around from front to back. So you create this nice little bowl with sound effects. And then you take these lower core muscles and you kind of place that down in the bowl. So it goes, ooh. So there's a little tuck and lift. So it's almost as if you're lifting your pubic bone up towards your diaphragm. So that kind of engagement in the core is what we're looking for. Secondly, if you go back and you look at crow pose that I did, like a month ago, I'm talking about lifting up in between your shoulder blades and lifting your heart towards your spine, like whew. That needs to happen too. That needs to happen with most arm balances, by the way. So, lifting, boom, lifting this, and then this straight leg needs to be pulled back in a lifting motion. So as you lift this leg, think pulling back into your hip socket. That needs to happen. So, place your arms down. So your arms needs to be like they are in Astavakrasana, which is another reason I like this. So your arms are a little bit wider than hip width. And notice where I set my arms. I'm not setting my arms by my hips, because that makes it really hard to lift. And then you really can use the excuse, my arms are not long enough. Because guess what, this pose, and I hear it all the time,
Nina, my arms are not long enough. Bullshit.
Because this is not about the length of your arms. This is about the strength in your core and the strength up here as well. So moving, like engaging your rhomboids. So no excuses. Anyway, when hands a little bit wider than hip width, look where I set my hands. So they are, my fingertips are probably around 3 inches from the back of my knee. So that's how much forward, because then I'm leaning forward and I can lift. So arms down and move on the exhale. On the exhale, you go, you're automatically engaging that core. So use that to your advantage. You're leaning forward, you got nice and straight arms. So you're not starting out with bent arms. Straight arms. You're already lifting up in between your shoulder blades, moving your heart towards your back. Inhale, exhale. Pull that leg back, and remember that little bowl in your lower core. It's working, working, working. And set it down. All right. So from elephant pose, let's play with Astavakrasana. So, same starter. What we're going to do, we're going to cross that other ankle over the bent ankle. Arms exactly like they were in elephant pose. And then this needs to happen in one smooth movement. One smooth movement, you need to move forward, lift the butt off the ground, Think chaturanga arms, so you're leaning forward and down. And at the same time, you need to straighten your legs. Go boom. So you need to squeeze that arm with your thighs, all in one movement. And it seems like a lot is happening at the same time. It is. You just have to get used. Once you got used to that movement or that combination of movement, this is pretty easy to get into. So, but you do have to get used to it. So I'm gonna get ready. Inhale, exhale, boom. So you can see I'm squeezing that arm. I'm looking forward, by the way, looking in the direction of my fingertips, not to the side. There's no camera to smile at. And I can come down. Let's try that again on the other side. So get your arm, your leg up. And well, I'm going to show this from elephant pose. So this is another intro. What is nice about this, you can kind of incorporate it into a flow, which makes it fun. You're in the air a little bit more. You're taking more of the movement, the combination of movement. You're hanging in the air, so it might take a little bit more strength. For some people it works better, for some not. So, but play with it. So with this, you go into elephant, boom. Then in air, you cross and go down. So same need for that combination of movements to happen simultaneously to come into it. And little hack, by the way, if this is really hard for you, you don't quite have the core strength here to do it, have your hands on a pair of blocks. It just gives you, it's just, if you just added another 4 inches to your arms, and you can put more of the strength needed into your arms, and so you can get up even though you don't have the core strength for it.
But Nina, you need the core strength.
Yes. Build the core up by all means, but you know what? It's okay to fake it till you make it. When I first started doing this arm balance, I was on blocks, and it just makes it a lot easier. You have a little bit more space to play with your legs and all that. And eventually I got off the blocks, and now I don't need them. So always fake it till you make it, guys. So yeah, I think that is. Just to recap, hands a little bit wider than hip width. Remember, hands are forward because you have to lift up. Think just like Bakasana, you have to lift your heart towards your spine, get that engagement. Bowl in your lower pelvis, get that lower core engagement. That's what's gonna lift your legs. Pull the leg in an elephant. Kind of the same in Astavakrasana, just because you want the back, or your butt to move back and up. And one fluid movement. Squeeze the arm with your leg. Look the direction of your fingertips. Look. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, or if you're like, Nina, you talk too fast, Jesus Christ, feel free to comment. And if there's a specific pose you want me to break down, just send me a DM. Hope this has been helpful. Thank you.